Hey, what's up, family? Peace, love, harmony, and light. This is Chief Kalanaga with another video, and we know how we do, man. It's a beautiful day out here in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. Hope it's a beautiful day where you are at, okay? I hope it is, because the only person that can make your day a beautiful day, guess who? It's you. The only person that could mess you up, guess who? It's you. It's all about taking responsibility. With that being said, man, I'm always in great spirits, and even sometimes when it seems like, the road is a little rough, the road is a little tough to travel, I always go within and find some way to just rejuvenate myself, always asking my ancestors, asking the universe to get me back on track, so that, I won't get distracted. And it's a beautiful thing. It gets a little overwhelming sometimes, but again, I always ask the universe to take some of that load for me, and I don't believe that the universe will give me anything that I can't handle. So when it comes, I deal with it and I handle it. So with that being said, family, just to let y'all know, videos are always for educational purposes. The information that I share is public information. It's just that a lot of people don't know where to find the information. That's one of the issues. Another one is people get the information, they don't study or research the information, they don't read. That's another issue as well. Or sometimes it could be both. You know what I mean? Sometimes people, it's not that people don't want the information, it's not that they don't want to learn or read, but it's like they don't have the time. And of course they could make the time, but when people get caught up in the mindset of having to survive, take care of the family, the children, the home, the bills, etc., people feel like they don't have enough time to dedicate to studying and realize that we are facing some serious times, and a lot of our people are stateless. The majority of our people are stateless. They're nationless, and they don't see a problem with it because they enjoy the privileges that they get as stateless people. So with that being said, I'm always reaching out and putting knowledge out there for the American Aborigine, the American Indian who have been misclassified. You know yourself. So again, that's public information. All right. Let me say this. I do reserve all my rights, my creator given rights. All right. I am not a U.S. citizen. I am not a member of any sovereign group. I am not Moorish American. All right. I am not black. I'm not African American. I am not no one's property. I am an autochthon American Aborigine who is indigenous to the Americas. That's my home. My ancestors have been on this landmass from time immemorial. What do I mean by that is from the time my ancestors decided to manifest here on Earth, the American continent, what's now called the American continent, that landmass, it's where my ancestors decided to come. So therefore, they sprung from off of this land from time immemorial. There hasn't been no time that man manifested on this earth that my ancestors wasn't on the American soil. So we didn't come from anywhere else. Straight from the mental realm or the spiritual realm, whatever you want to call it, my ancestors came here. So America is in me. I am America and America is me. The copper colored races that was found here. You feel me? So yes, we are all indigenous to the entire planet. I know that. All right. But when my ancestors came here, they chose to be in the Americas from time immemorial. All right. So this is my home and that's what I claim. That's what I rep. But much respect to all my other ancestors from different parts of the world. You feel me? So family, got to talk to you about a few things. A few things that it's not bothering me, but it's information that I got to put out. And we just got to make a few things clear. You see, I don't allow anybody to get into my energy field and take me somewhere where I don't need to go, or let me vibrate on a lower frequency that I choose not to vibrate at the moment. Sometimes, it is necessary to go into the low vibrational self. Sometimes it's necessary because sometimes people want to take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people want to mess up your flow, and hey, you got to take it there. That's what the lower self is about, is to maintain that balance. You know, even in the so-called God, there is God and the devil that exist in God. You know what I'm saying? In other words, good and evil exist in the same source, energy that you call God. And the only way for that energy to know something is good, it must experience what's bad, or it have to be aware of what's bad. So there's nothing wrong in being able to get into your lower self sometimes to take care of the higher self. There's nothing wrong with that, because again, there has to be balance. The key is not allow your lower self to always continuously making your higher self the slave. That is the key. All right. That is the key. So, again, a lot of the American Aborigines that have been misclassified, again, that is public information. So I'm not putting anything out there that people are not aware of, or it's not out there in public. We know that when the foreigners came to our land, we were here. We know that now. For some of you who don't know, hey, I'm letting you know that we were here. Okay. We didn't come from the African continent. Some people did come here, but what they're telling you, it wasn't like that. More than 95% of us was already here, and that's a fact. Okay, we have been here. All right. So because they came here and we welcomed them with open arms, they got greedy and they wanted to take more of what we wanted to offer them. And when we said enough was enough, they decided that, you know what, we're going to fight these people for what's theirs. So they started fighting us for our land, our home, our women, our children, our men. And the American Indians, we wasn't having that. You see, the difference between an American Indian and any other ethnic group or phenotype is this. A lot of different phenotypes, especially, you know, I'm not going to, because I don't want this to come out the wrong way. But let me just make a reference. In the North American mannerisms, ways, in the North American Indian mannerisms and ways, okay, there is a certain passage that reads that the American Indian is not submissive, unlike his African brother, who is submissive. We are not. We would rather die than become slaves. So that's why the whole story of us being enslaved and coming on slave ships, no, that wasn't us. You see, that wasn't us. And how do I know? Is because they had to sign treaties with us. How do I know? Because our ancestors wrote the Constitution. Now, if we lost all those battles, why did you have to adopt our Constitution and not create your own? So again, it shows you who still run things. This is our land. You feel me? So at the ending of the day, the American Indian would rather lose his physical life or her physical life than let anybody come take advantage of us. So we wasn't having that. So what they did was they sent and got some help from their Moorish brothers to help them fight us in our land. And that's what happened. You feel me? So with that being said, a lot of our people, they started changing our identity. So when they came, they saw the copper colored races, and then they took off the copper and just started calling us colored. And then, you know, Afro-American, Native American, you know, I'm not Native American, but black, you know, African American, niggers, all these different terms that they started calling us. Again, to take us away from our true identity, our birthright, so that when the people are misplaced, that they could step in and say, okay, you know what? Well, you are not from here. They give you a story telling you that you're a foreigner in your own land. So now if the land become abandoned because the people who are from here start believing they are not from here, then the land becomes abandoned, right? So with abandoned land, they created what's called the doctrine of discovery. So if I discovered it, well, it's mine. How can you discover something where people was already here? So you see the trickery that our people fell into. And another thing was because of socialism. We wanted to be like them. Our people wanted to be like them. We were natured people. We lived off of nature. We grew our own food. We were one people. Yes, different families, but one people. So we allowed them to come and infiltrate us, separate us. And this is what we are dealing with today. But what you have to realize is this: our ancestors fought so hard that the system is still in place to protect us. Yes, the American Aborigines. If you want to be black, you want to be African American, that's on you. You have that right to self-identify. But just know that you are stateless. In other words, you are property. You are 3/5 of a human. You are human capital. You are not a living man or woman. I mean, say what you got to say. The facts is just the facts. It is what it is. So again, if you want to be black or African American, Black Power, Black Lives Matter, that's on you. Okay? That don't exist. And the sad part about it is, what hurts me so much is that, adults are not stepping up and correcting the mistakes that they made with their children. So now our children are suffering because of the ignorance and the lack of knowledge of their parents. They figure as long as I'm paying the bills, I'm paying the rent, I got you in their school. When you got them in their school, now in local parenti kicks in, and then your child becomes their child. So they become the parent and you become the guardian automatically. Go look it up. You don't have to believe me. Like I told y'all before, don't believe anything that I say. Don't believe anything I say. Go research it. Go research in local parenti or parentas or parentis. Go look it up. I've done videos on that before. Because you see, a lot of you, it's not that you don't think there's something wrong with the educational system. You know there's something wrong with it. But because you're looking for a babysitter, you're looking for a babysitter, so you just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to put my child in their school. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you got to work. I get it. But at the end of the day, you're still looking for a babysitter, because that's what it is. They're babysitting your children. And then once you put your children in their system, automatically there are statutes and there are codes that make them automatically adoptive parents with rights over your children that supersedes yours. So now you become the guardian. And that is what our children are being faced with because of the lack of knowledge of their parents. So I'm talking again to the American Aborigines. You feel me? So at what point do you step up and take the responsibility and get the knowledge? And not just getting the knowledge, because it's okay to have knowledge, but the key is to apply the knowledge. How do you apply the knowledge so that it could change your life? You see, change only happens when you make change. That's the only thing. And a lot of people want change, but they don't want to give up anything. That is the sad part about it. And it's extremely sad and hurtful. And that's one of the points of this video. Of course, everything is about teaching and educating, enlightening. But I'm going to repeat that again. Everybody wants change, but don't want to give up anything. It's like going to a store and say, hey, you know what? Can I get 4 quarters? And then the clerk is looking at you, well, can I get your $1? And you looking at them like they're stupid. Like, no, I want change. I want 4 quarters. Just give it to me. And that's what a lot of y'all are doing. That is what a lot of you expect, you know? And that's a selfish nature. And those are not the ways and mannerisms of our ancestors. And when you point that out, people get upset. So I'm going to ask you again. If you go to a store and you tell them, hey, you know what? Give me 4 5s. They're going to expect you to give them $20. If you tell them to give you 4 quarters, guess what? They're going to expect you to give them $1. But you got your hand out waiting for 4 quarters, but you don't want to give up anything. Life doesn't work that way, family. It doesn't work that way. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, and you see, I'm not going to get out of character. I'm still going to remain calm, you know, and collective. But I have to be honest and be true about it. Because Just again, recently, a brother hit me up, right? Emailed me, asking me all these questions. I'm responding, I'm giving him information back and forth, right? But then every time I answer a question, it comes another question. In comes another question. In comes another question. Like, I don't have a life. I got things to do. So I said, my brother, you could set up a consultation. You know what I'm saying? Like, set up a consultation, and this is what it is. For a consultation is up to, you could donate. I didn't say I charge for anything. I don't charge people for anything. However, I said that you could donate $60 for up to an hour. And you could ask all the information, all the questions that you need and want. And I will answer them. Plus, I will tell you some of the steps that I have taken to rectify the mistake that my parents did, so that I don't pass it on to my children. The brother hit me back and he got upset. Well, I'm not going to pay for anything. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors didn't used to charge for anything. So with that being said, I'm going to get my own information, peace, love, and light. I said, well, peace, love, and light. And I just left it as that, because you know what? I didn't want to get into that energy right there. I wasn't going to allow him to pull me into that. You feel me? Because how fair it is to me. You see, and that's the key again. That's what I'm saying. Everybody want change, but nobody want to give up a dollar. Nobody want to give up anything. And the whole point about our ancestors didn't charge for anything is because we didn't use the word charge, but we did barter and traded. Okay? Nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free. Our ancestors did barter and trade, because if a family wanted something, they would go to a family. Take, for instance, again, growing up, if we had mangoes and somebody had oranges, we give them mangoes and they gave us oranges. So we wanted mangoes, right? No, we wanted oranges. What did we pay to get what did we use to pay for the oranges? We used mangoes. So we bartered and traded. So if I'm here giving you all my time, all my energy, what are you giving in return? And now you letting it seem like as if I am the one doing something wrong, because you don't want to take the responsibility and see how selfish that you are. And I'm going to prove to you that nothing in life is free, not even in the spiritual realm. Because when you came here and you manifested here in the flesh, remember, in the spiritual realm, there is perfection, right? Perfection. You decided and you make a conscious decision to give up perfection to come into an imperfect world. That's right. And not just coming here in an imperfect world, but you forgetting where you came from. That's why you came to school, the universe, right? You came to learn. So was it free? No, there was a price to pay. You gave up perfection. You gave up knowledge of who you were to come into this realm, to forget everything so you could learn it again. You left a realm where there was no pain, no hate, nobody being broke or a want or a need for anything. And you decided to come here. That was the price that you paid. It wasn't free. No, you paid a price. Do you think the spirit want to be trapped in this body? No. This is the price that the spirit paid. The spirit paid a price to come into this body and get trapped. And now the goal is to get back into your higher self and free yourself. So nothing in life is free, family. It's not. So I am willing to give the information. I don't charge for information. I took it upon myself and created a website with all that information for free. Guess what? I pay for the website. I have to pay for it every single month. I have to pay for it. But nobody's talking about that. I'm not charging for that. There's not a fee to join the website. Go talk to the conscious community. They are charging you for their websites. I am not, because I say, you know what? I shouldn't be charging people for knowledge. The website is there. They have a university section. There is a law section. All type of stuff on there. Books, articles, treaties, constitutions, all that's on there for free. But now you expect me to go study the information and come on the phone for 3-4 hours and tell you everything. So you could say, well, thank you, Chief. Oh, you know what, man? I appreciate what you're doing. Yeah, you love all people. But the question is, do my people love me in return? So you see the irony in people being so selfish, because I'm always giving. Always giving. And it's really, really sad. Nothing in life is free. So regardless of how much I want to give, I'm going to continue to give. But I'm not going to allow you to take advantage of me. I'm not going to allow you to misuse my time or abuse me. I'm not going to do that. Just because I love my people. Oh, yes, I do love my people. But I'm not going to allow you to abuse me. I'm not going to do that. You see. So with that being said, I am still going to continue to give the knowledge. And I'm going to always keep it calm. So, family, it is important that we as the American Aborigines, we step into our rightful place. All right. You have a right to self-identify. And if you go read on Drip, it's on the website. As a matter of fact, we just put up a video of on Drip of, Empress Ayana. She put on Drip in a video form, and it's on the first page of the website. So we are working, because some people cannot read. Some people have a problem in reading. So we want to make sure we cater to everybody. So we're working hard on behalf of the people. Imagine this. Empress Ayana, she took at least 3 or 4 days, almost 5 days to get that the way she was doing it, because we live right now, it's people there. So every time she records somebody coming, she got to start over, right? Sometimes when you read, whatever happened, you got to make sure it's correct. It took her at least 5 days to get it right. And I'm talking about hours and hours. She's not getting paid for that. She's not getting compensated for that. Guess what the thanks that she got? Hey, Empress, thank you so much. I put it on the site. You did a great job of what people needed. And she said, you're welcome. That was her thanks. She didn't get paid. So all I'm just saying is, if we are working so hard on your behalf, what's wrong in donating to what we are doing? There are many people that's talking about it and they are not doing it. They're going around the country doing all these lectures, charging you $60, $70 so that they could feel like they're celebrities, and you go support them. But the real people that's putting in the work, showing you the true knowledge, it's hard to support us. Why is that? The others are keeping you black. They're keeping you African American. They're telling you're from Africa, and you're supporting them 100%. But the ones that's telling you the truth about who you are and showing you how to secure yourself in your land, oh, they're supposed to be giving it to you for free because our ancestors didn't charge for anything. That's not true. Our ancestors bartered and traded. So stop being selfish, all right? As, again, the people we have the right to self-identify as per on Drip, and also the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Now, what does it mean to self-identify? It is because the spirit cannot be identified. It's only the flesh could be identified. That's why in the allegorical Bible, and I say allegorical because it wasn't meant to be taken literally, the allegorical Moses, because it wasn't meant to be taken literally, when the allegorical Moses asked the allegorical God in the Bible, what was his name? What did he say? My name shall be I am. I am that I am. That shall be my name forever and ever. You know why? It's because the spirit cannot be identified with a name. It cannot. How can you name something that's nameless? So then Moses took it upon himself and people and governments and churches and said that the name is Yahweh, Yahshua, Jehovah, Jesus, Buddha, Zeus, Apollo, Ra, all these different names. Those are just titles known as, but the spirit cannot have a name. You cannot name something that's nameless. But seeing that the spirit lives in the body and the body is physical, it needs to be identified. So now that you have an identification, seeing that you are self-governance, because every man and woman is their own God. So seeing that you are a God living in the flesh, a spirit living in the flesh, you have a right to identify your own self, self-governance. And that is what Andrip speaks of, to paraphrase. So therefore, that means that I could go to any place and make an ID and say, this is who I am. And no man, government, or religion have a right to take that away from me. So as the Aborigines of the Americas who are indigenous to this land, we have a right to self-identify. Yes, that's right. It's our right. If I say that's who I am, just like the I am that I am, that's who I am. And it shall be so forever and ever. I have a right to do that. And if next week I want to be somebody else, I have a right to do that as well. And no government have a right to force me to assimilate. And that is also one of the articles in Andrip. Indigenous people should be free of forced assimilation. Because my culture is not yours. You shouldn't force me to assimilate to your culture. And because Andrip kicked in, when Donald Trump got into office, he wanted to pull out one of the first bills he put on the floor, I think January 11th, when he got in, was to pull out of the UN. So what people that's working on our behalf had to do was to adopt the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. So now we have our own declaration. So that means we are who they're talking about. If we were not indigenous, they can't be talking about the natives, because the natives already are recognized by the federal government. So they're talking about the other people, us, the people who don't know they are American Aborigines, the American Indians. You feel me? So we have a right to self-identify. So with that being said, seeing that I know that, I have taken the initiative and I've created my own ID. We have our own nation ID. And indigenous people have a right to belong to a nation, a group, an organization, a family with a governmental structure that they have the full control of operating. I have my own nation ID. Okay. And it also states in House of Congress Resolution 331, the 100th session, or I think the 200th session, right? Where Congress acknowledges that my ancestors wrote and formed the Constitution. And they have an obligation, not if they so choose, not if they want to, but they have an obligation to deal with me and my people from a government to government basis. And everything in that article, okay, was meant to be understood based on how my ancestors understood it. So they can't come and say, well, we didn't mean this, we didn't mean that. Well, guess what? That's not how my ancestors understood it. So it is what it is, and it's concurrent. So again, I tell people the information is there. You could go study it. All the information is free. But now when you want my time and you want me to get on the phone with you for 2, 3, 4 hours and just say, well, thank you, Chief. You're doing such a great thing for our people. Oh, you're the man, this and that, and just hang up the phone. That's not going to work for me, because I still got things to take care of. We are still nation building and everything cost. So how fair it is to me and the people, you know what I'm saying, of our nation, that their chief is out there just doing all this, and then we are not nation building. Where's the obligation to the people that I took an oath to build? So y'all got to be fair enough and be honest enough within yourselves and stop using me or stop using people like me. Also, what I did was, even if we do have our nation ID, I have my own nation ID. I have my dossier ID. For those of you who don't know what a dossier is, go look up the definition of dossier. Okay, a dossier. Trust me, even the FBI have a dossier on you. It's a profile. It's an affidavit of facts or statement. Okay, a pile of information that's on an individual. So now, instead of them creating a dossier on me and leaving it as it is, because if they have a dossier that's on you, in other words, they created a file, a compiled information about you and who you are, and you haven't responded to it, or you haven't addressed it, then you acquiesce to what they say in that profile. So I took it upon myself, seeing that I'm an adult of sound mind, an American Aborigine, meaning that I have been here from time immemorial, and everything else that came here is on my land. I have a right to do that. So I created my own dossier, all right, so that I could create my own profile. Why, who knows more about who I am than me? I cannot allow them to tell me who I am. I have to let them know who I am, because they will assume they know who I am. And if I don't address that, then I acquiesce to that presumption or assumption. And I cannot afford to do that. So I have created, again, a dossier, a statement of fact. All right. It's about 21 pages with my information stating who I am. Okay. In the dossier premise, it have a list of contents. The dossier premise, the House of Congress resolution, affidavit declaring proclamation cover notice with terms enlisted, affidavit declaration and proclamation notice, copper coin evidence. We have photographic evidence. Just, my right as a living man to freely travel my land. So that has been established. Okay. And signed with the ID on here, but I created a tangible ID to support what is being said here. Okay. So I have taken total control of my life. All right. And I even took it a step further. The name that my mother gave me on the birth certificate, again, I know that it's a corporate entity. So I have taken the charge of operating legally and lawfully in commerce. So I protected my legal name, and I am in proper lawful standing walking on my land as an American Aborigine. There is steps to this. And if you want to learn it, it's fine. The information is a lot, well, not in detail like that, but there's a lot of information to open up your mind on the site. But again, if you want me to take my time and explain all these things to you, all the steps I've taken, show you what I have done, and you're just telling me, well, you know what? Oh, I'm not going to, that I'm not going to allow people to abuse me. I'm not going to do it. Yes, I love my people. Literally, I love my people, and that's why I do what I do. But at the ending of the day, where's the balance? If you have a well, right? If you have a well and you are continuously taking from that well and you are not replacing it, you are not replenishing the well, what do you think is going to happen one day? It's going to dry up. And our people have the tendency, a lot of our people have the tendency to just use. When they realize they can't use you no more, then all of a sudden you're not important. Somebody else becomes their hero. Somebody else becomes that well. Instead of saying, you know what, damn, Chief is always giving. Chief is always putting his best out there. Chief is always doing everything 100%. One day, Chief resources might be depleted. Why can't I support him? You know what I mean? But a lot of our people don't think that way. In other words, Chief shouldn't be getting no type of compensation for all the hard work he putting in. But yet still, you support the Asian. You support the Jews. You support the Arabs. All the clothes on your back, you didn't make it. So that means you paid for it. Your cable, you don't have a cable company, but you pay for it. Your cell phone, you didn't pay for it, but you pay for it. Your internet, you didn't pay for it, but you pay for it. Why don't you tell them that my ancestors didn't pay for these things, so I'm not going to pay for it? You don't tell them that. But when it comes to one of us that look like us, we always want to use them and abuse them. And I'm not going to feel guilty about this video either, because it is 100% fact. I'm not going to let anybody abuse me. No, it's not going to happen. Okay. Again, everything that I'm doing is public information. Or a lot of information is on the site. You could go read and study yourself and figure these things out. Okay. But there is a service that is being provided. When you go to the site, you'll see it. I do consultations in all these different various aspects of whatever. You know what I mean? But it's on the site, whether it may be spirituality, relationships, talking about nation building, about who is the American Aborigine, about our culture, whatever it is. Because everything still have to be maintained until we are able to go back to the land and be free of the fiat currency. But until then, we need it to do what we have to do. And that is just a fact. Anybody who think that it's not needed right now, they are living a disillusional life. You know what I'm saying? They are disillusional. But my main focus is not that. My main focus is to get our people back to the land, growing our own food, creating our own energy. But in the meantime, we need that fiat currency to make it happen, or some form of currency. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, family, I do love you guys, and I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to teach. But you know what? Fear is fear. All right. Even look again, the allegorical Jesus. When you think everything is free, nothing is free. Jesus said, guess what? I gave you my life. I died on the cross for you. And I'm saying allegorical, right? I give you my life. I died on the cross for you. But guess what? You have to give me back your life. You have to drink my blood. You got to eat my body. And the only way for you to get to your God is through me. That wasn't free. Jesus won his back. He won his back for all of y'all who still believe in Jesus to be a real man. So let's just keep it 100. Nothing in life is free. The man said, I paid the price. I died for your sins. Okay? But guess what I want in return? How come he didn't do it for free if he came to save you? He didn't give it to you for free. He said that you have to give me your life. And apart from that, you have to drink my blood and eat my body. And apart from that, the only way to get to the Creator, you have to come through me. So if I decide that you ain't worthy to go talk to the Creator, then it ain't happening. That's the kind of stuff y'all believe in. It's not free. So let's just be 100. Let's just be 100 and keep it real with ourselves. I'm still going to continue to do what I'm doing with love, peace, harmony, and light. I'm giving my all. I'm going to continue to do it. I will provide the information. You go research the information and come up with ways that you could do your own thing. But if you want my services and my time, then there have to be some type of barter in trade. And like I said, I'm accepting donations for the services or even just the videos, because everything still have to be paid for. Again, let us be fair. Because look, there are pagan holidays coming up. How many of y'all gonna spend hundreds and thousands of dollars spending money for Christmas gifts? Instead of saying, you know what? This Christmas, I'm gonna secure my family. This Christmas, I'm gonna secure me as an American Aborigine. But no, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna buy gifts. The same perpetual cycle of slavery. The same cycle of keeping your children nationless, keeping them stateless. Because you know what? You want to live the ways of your oppressors. But you want to get mad at me when I say I don't want you to use me. Our ancestors didn't believe in Christmas. So family, with that being said, once again, I'm going to continue to do this. If you guys still choose to be a part of what we are doing, great. Go to the website, check it out. You know, it's only we could save ourselves. Only us, we, the American Aborigines. Nobody's going to do it for us. Everything is in place. The system is not broken. It's just that the people are not educated about the system and it's working against them. All right. So like I said, I do dossiers. I will teach you what a dossier is. I will show you the importance of a dossier because it's a two-edged sword. If you don't know how to use it, you will get yourself in trouble with it. So I could guide you and teach you the information. You know what I'm saying? But it's a service that is being provided. So with that being said, the website is below. Okay? The GoFundMe is below. I appreciate you guys. Oh, and this is a headpiece that I created. You know me, again, I always want to represent my ancestors because this is who we are. The American Indian, we always wore our feathers. What's going to distinguish you in a crowd between somebody who's black or African American or a Moor or whatever, any other ethnic group? It's our feathers. Our ancestors always rep that. Period. So I'm always representing my culture. So with that being said, I love you guys. This is Chief. I hope you guys be honest with yourself and see the truth in what I'm saying. It is time that if we're going to have each other's back, let us have each other's back. Don't just always want to be on the receiving end and then never want to give back. There's no balance in that. And for those of you who are stepping up into your your enlightenment or you're becoming spiritual, that is not spirituality. That is being selfish. Okay? Spirituality is about giving to the all, making sure that everybody is good with peace, love, light, and harmony. Not just always taking, but being able to give back. That's where the balance comes in. I am willing, as I've always been, to give the information, share the information. I will continue to do that. It's free on the website. There's no charge. Man, you don't even have to donate for that. Although the donations would be appreciated, but you don't even have to, because it's free. That's what I wanted to do for the people. But now when you're coming into wanting my personal time that I have to spend with my family, you know, building our nation, you're taking time away from me for that, then that time has to be compensated. I don't charge, but you would have to donate for that, for my time. That's my time. So don't get mad at me if I don't want to just give you my time, 3, 4, 5 hours on the phone so that you could feel that I care. No, okay? That is a form of abuse and it's not right. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to continue to do this. And don't forget, Tennessee is coming up December 22nd and 23rd. Nashville, Tennessee, the lecture is coming up 2017. Again, I am doing that lecture for free because this is what's in my heart, to uplift my people. Let them, tell them the truth about who we are so that we could step up as the American Aborigines and restore the ways and culture and our land that belong to our ancestors. Chief Kalanago, I'm out. Peace.